Hi friends, today we are going to see the past year NEET questions for the chapter Mineral Nutrition, and today in this video we will cover part 1. Now let's begin with the first question here, which was asked in the year 2016. In which of the following all three are macronutrients? Okay. So the right answer is option D, nitrogen, calcium and phosphorus. Calcium, then you have sulfur, magnesium are macronutrients. Therefore the right answer is option D. Protein, fats, carbohydrates, all these are also macronutrients. They have to be synthesized, or they have to be reduced into a simpler form. Only then the body can absorb it. Next question here. Minerals known to be required in large amounts for the plant growth include dash. So we required phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, calcium. Okay. So they all play an important role in the plant growth. These minerals are required in large amount. So they are required in large amount. Phosphorus is required for all phosphorylation reactions and constitution of cell membrane, nucleic acids and some proteins. Potassium is related with protein synthesis, okay, closing and opening of stomata and activation of enzymes. Calcium regulates metabolic activities, functions of all cell membranes, stabilizes the structure of chromosomes. And what is sulfur helping in? It is a main constituent of amino acids like cysteine and methionine, coenzymes and vitamins. So minerals required in large amount for the plant growth include phosphorus, potassium, sulfur and calcium, which is option D. Next question here. Which of the following elements is a constituent of biotin? So first we will discuss what is biotin. Then only we will be able to answer this. What is biotin? Any idea? How can you describe it? See, biotin is actually a water-soluble vitamin that is a part of the vitamin B family, and it is also known as vitamin H sometimes. Okay, so I've given you a clue now. Biotin is also known as vitamin H, is a water-soluble vitamin B. It is a coenzyme for the carboxylase enzyme involved in the synthesis of fatty acids, isoleucine, valine and glucogenesis. And sulfur is a constituent of biotin. Therefore, the right answer is option A. Okay, now let's move to the next question here. Best defined function of manganese in green plants is dash. So you have four options here. Photolysis of water, Calvin cycle, nitrogen fixation and water absorption. The right answer to this question is option A. Okay, and when you say lysis, it is, what do you call it as? Breakdown, right? The best defined function of manganese is the splitting of water to liberate oxygen during photosynthesis. It is absorbed in the form of manganese ions, which will be in the form of Mn2+. It is absorbed in the form of manganese ions and activates many enzymes involved in the photosynthesis, respiration and nitrogen metabolism. Therefore, manganese in green plants helps in photolysis of water, which is option A. Next question here. Which one of the following is correctly matched? And this question was asked in the year 2012. We have to analyze the statements here. So we have to analyze the statements here, okay? Passive transport of nutrients through ATP is wrong. Apoplast, plasmodesmata, wrong. Potassium readily immobilization, that is right. Potassium immobilization is a conversion of the water-soluble potassium into a water-insoluble form. Readily available potassium constitutes about 1% of the total potassium available in the soil, whereas slightly soluble potassium account for about 98, how many? 98% it seems. So you can understand from this how much is a pure form and the other. Therefore, the right answer to this question is option C, which is correctly matched is C. Next question. For its activity, carboxypeptidase requires dash. So we will first talk about carboxypeptidase. So it's very well understood, it is an enzyme, right? It is an enzyme. So what is this enzyme used for? Any idea? Carboxypeptidase. We are talking about carboxypeptidase. Okay, as we all know, it is an enzyme, and this is secreted by the pancreas and secreted in small intestine. This enzyme hydrolyzes the first peptide or the amide bond at the carboxyl or the C-terminal end of the proteins and peptides. It has a stronger preference for those amino acids that have aromatic or branched hydrocarbon chains. Okay, so now you can ask me, what is the function of this? This is an enzyme synthesized in the pancreas, and the function is to hydrolyze the first peptide. Okay, it has affinity towards amino acids that have aromatic or branched hydrocarbon chain. Now for its activity, it requires zinc. It is an exopeptidase enzyme secreted in the pancreas, as we all know, and the action is seen in the small intestine. Zinc is a cofactor for carboxypeptidase in the digestion of the carboxypeptidase. Okay, now what happens here, if you see, it requires zinc acts with carboxypeptidase. We need to, as I already said, macronutrients which enter your body has to be in the reduced form so that the body will absorb and utilize it for the source of energy. If it is going to remain as macro form, the body is not functioning properly. For its activity, carboxypeptidase require option A, zinc. Next question here, which one of the following elements in plant is not remobilized? And this question was asked in the year 2011. Okay, so what do you think will be the answer here? Calcium is the element in the plants which is not mobilized. This is because it is a structural component and hence has to be or needs to be localized. Phosphorus, sulfur and potassium are not structural element and hence can be remobilized. Okay, based on their need. So the correct answer is B, calcium. Okay, I told you, calcium in plants which is not mobilized, and this is because of the structural component and hence it needs to be localized. Now you understand why is it calcium? While if you take the rest of the elements which are present here, phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, all these can be remobilized. Okay, next question here. Look at this question. Which one of the following is not an essential mineral element for plant while the remaining three are? And this question was asked in the year 2011. So the right answer to this question is cadmium. Cadmium is not an essential element for the plants. We all know that. What is cadmium? Any idea? When compared to the others, what all you know about the element cadmium? What is a molecular formula for it? It is Ca. It is for calcium. Cd is cadmium. Okay, the symbol is Cd. Okay, atomic number of this is 48. Cadmium is a soft, malleable, ductile, silvery white, divalent metal. It is similar in many respects to zinc, but forms complex compounds. Unlike most of the other metals, cadmium is resistant to corrosion and used as a protective plate on metals. And this is not required an essential mineral element for plants. Therefore, the right answer to this question is option C. Next question here. Which one of the following is essential for the photolysis of water? This is a repeated question. I think all of you should know what the answer is. The right answer is manganese. Photolysis is catalyzed by the protein-bound inorganic complex which contains Mn2+, that is manganese ions. Okay. Next question here. Which one of the following is not a micronutrient? Okay, analyze and tell me. Zinc, boron, molybdenum. Magnesium is not a micronutrient. Micronutrients are essential elements that are required in the plants in small amount. They include ferrous, copper, boron, molybdenum, manganese, calcium and nitrogen. Macronutrients, on the other hand, are those that are essential elements that are required for the plants in larger amount. They include hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus, potassium, calcium and magnesium. Therefore, which is not a micronutrient is option magnesium, which is B. So macro, micro, it's not about the size, it talks about the requirement. Okay, next question here. Manganese is required in dash, and this question was asked in the year 2009. I think all of you should know what the answer is by now. Yes, it is required in the photolysis of water. So to your right side, you have a clear explanation to it. You can just go through it. Look at the first point there. The assimilation of carbon dioxide in photosynthesis. It is involved in the Hill reaction where the water is split during photosynthesis. It aids in the synthesis of chlorophyll and in nitrate assimilation. Manganese activates fat-forming enzymes. It functions in the formation of riboflavin, ascorbic acid and carotene. It functions in electron transport during photosynthesis. So this is a repeated question. I have not given much explanation. I hope all of you will understand what it is. Okay, next question here. Which one of the following element is not an essential micronutrient for plant growth? So last question we saw magnesium. Now here calcium is the answer. As I already said, they are not talking about the size, they are talking about the requirement. Okay, therefore the right answer is option C, calcium. Next question here. Okay, now look at this question here. The most abundant element present in the plant is dash. Most abundant. What do you think will be the answer here? All of you know the answer, right? It is carbon. Manganese and iron are micronutrients that are required in the trace amounts. Concentration of nitrogen in dry matter is about 15,000 mg per gram, while concentration of the carbon in the dry matter, if you see, it is 45,000 mg per gram. Therefore, which is abundantly present? Option A, carbon. Next question here. The major role of minor elements inside the living organism is to act as dash. Minor elements are those which are required by plants in very small amount. Okay, they are required in small amount. That is why they say minor. These elements have a significant role in the enzyme activities, like in zinc activates carboxylase, carbonic anhydrase and various dehydrogenases. Now you should know what it is. It acts as a cofactor of enzymes. Therefore the right answer to this question is option B. Okay, so with this we complete the part 1 of mineral and nutrition. Hope to meet you in the next part with another set of questions with interesting explanations. Thank you.